Call the monthly meeting of the Memorial Park Board to order. Mr. McCall, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just thank you, Lord, for being with us tonight, and just bless everyone here. And I just thank you for just a good night, good discussion, and just wisdom and perspective this night as we discuss park business. Just thank you. Safe travel forever. Amen.
All members had a chance to look at the previous minutes.
Make a motion to accept the what?
Microphone.
I make a motion to accept May's minutes.
I second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Superintendent's report.
So my computer was down for 3 weeks, so I started up like trying to coordinate with IT to get the computer up and running. We tried like a bunch of different parts first, but then they finally ordered the computer, but then it took a little bit of time to get the computer here. So I have a new computer and I've brought it to the meeting. We have the aerators have been made fully operational with help from my grounds crew. I sprayed the pond multiple times with safe dosages to try to combat the algae in the water. I think it is actually finally taking hold now. It's been a couple days in the sun and it's not come back up yet. Small bits of pieces have, but I covered security for 3 weekends due to Ranger having health complications and other things that they needed to attend to. Had discussions and signing of new policy with grounds crew that went over breaks, phone usage, and grievances. Grounds crew cleared the trees of the power lines on the walking path in between Lagoon and Shively Lake. It looks really nice. They're waiting for we're gonna have to rent a bucket truck or something like that soon to take down a dead tree next to the new shelter. So we're probably gonna wait until we get that and then clear a little bit higher where the power lines are. Helped with grounds crew to get wiring picked up and repaired. That was hit by concrete contractors for MAD GC, which is the disc golf. Made schedule of days and hours for office hours and times I will be back in the park for transparency with park and public. Do you have the sheet for the schedule? If not, I can email it.
Everybody had it in their
Okay,
packets.
awesome. Cooperated with Joel and Liz to get a new special events permit written up to avoid liability issues in the future. Me, Liz, and Holcomb went to safety briefing for 4th of July to discuss the plans of operation for that meeting. Worked with outside sources, Muncie Park and DNR to come up with an incident report and safety plan that makes more sense for a park our size. I'll have that at the next meeting. Working on signs for new shelter, Joe Sanders Jr. and family shelter. We'll have that done the next time it rains, most likely, or if we don't get time before the grand opening, we'll do it then. We'll do it before the grand opening. But we're trying to hope for a rainy day, so that gives us something to do. North Shelter was hit by a felled tree. Grounds crew and Jim Ward assessed damages to the shelter. Jim Ward offered to help fix it and possibly donate the metal required to do so. Grounds crew cleared the area and made it safe. I worked with the auditor's office to abolish the 1117 fund and make it just, which is the rental fund, and make it just one fund in the 1179. I took this to the county council, but it was tabled for the next county council meeting. Got new catch and release signs that are particular to the grass carp, getting catch and release that are specified towards all fish in the works now. So that is my superintendent's report.
You mentioned the safety meeting for the 4th of July. Who was that with, or was that in the area or at the park? With the EMA, okay.
Would you like to go? We have one tomorrow at 1:30. You're more than welcome to come.
Yeah,
I
I'll see
guess
if
I
I can
should
join for that.
Anybody on the board, of course, is
Mhm.
welcome to come as well. So
Yeah, I'd like to be there to help at the 4th of July, so if I
Yeah.
can join for that,
Yeah.
I'll have to double check, but.
It's at the jail on the bottom level,
to jail.
In the Justice Center.
Justice Center.
Joe,
Yeah.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah, sorry, my bad.
Picking up
Justice
what you're
Center.
putting down.
Sounds good, yeah.
Downstairs in the basement. Yes, 1:30. This is yours. We borrowed it, yeah. I gave mine to Katie and then I gave Kate's to her.
What do you have for us, Liz?
So, reservations, as busy as the month was, we didn't take in a lot of reservations during the month. All of the reservations that were in May were previously paid for. So, we had quite a few for graduations and weddings. So cash wise, we had cash, firewood and vendors that we took in for that. We also had fireworks donations come in and our credit cards. So the reservations, firewood and the vendors, that was $480. We took in $587 for towards the fireworks and $1,600 in credits for reservations. And then my secretary's report is kind of slim. I was on the run quite a bit though. Alongside with regular daily operations, I created the special events permits with Cade and submitted them to Joel for review. I did put them in your packet. The only thing that was changed on that one was number 2 of the first page. And that verbiage came straight from Joel. So that was the only thing that needed changed. Created signage to be used for the 4th of July, gave them to the guys, so they are getting ready to start mapping out the areas for 4th of July. Create a backup plan because when Cade's computer went down, somebody was using my computer and then didn't log out of his stuff, and then I couldn't log into my stuff. So we came up with a backup plan for a few days.
We might end up using it in the future too.
Yeah.
Just basically using a separate thing other than Outlook as well at the same time. And we can write in as well too physically, so.
Right. So I went way old school, paper and pen. It was fun. I have continued conversations with vendors and with Fierce Party Rentals. They're donating the 20 bounce houses for the 4th of July and 20, yes, 20. And we will have a petting zoo in the kids area for 4th of July. We have a kids zone on Cardinal Field, Katie. It'll be on Cardinal Field. Set up, we have a new naturalist. Her name is Kara. She is there on Fridays and Saturdays. She is wonderful and she is helping to create some fun events in the park. She is now the 3rd person to share my office with me. And so I got her set up with alarm codes and keys. Created lists with Cades for weekend operations. Emily has had the baby. She got married last weekend and she is coming back to work next week. So, and prepping for Emily's return next week and showing her the new reservation system since we no longer have the website.
What? The new naturalist?
Yes.
Did we have a naturalist before?
No, I hired Kara on. I gave her special duties. She helps with labor too, but she had helped with that kind of stuff in the past. And I thought it would be great to have somebody who can make and help run these events. No, we hadn't.
The new role.
Well, in my time at the park, we have not had one, so she is new to me.
Are we working with the online system for reservations now, or is it still pen and paper?
It is still, well, it
It's
is,
on Outlook and we're taking
Yes.
phone
Okay,
calls
okay.
to do it.
yes.
Okay.
So it's still in-house.
Okay, so people still have to come into the office or call
Yes.
for that? Okay, sounds good. Do we have plans to get that
I
online?
don't have plans currently. The amount of reservations and money that we make from reservations that come in aren't enough to offset the cost of actually having one of those. From what I've looked at least, the one that active, which is the one I was going to maybe replace Civic Rec with. I mean, it's a little bit cheaper. It's not enough cheaper. I don't think it'd be worth to have it. We can do it pretty well on our own. It's not perfect. It's not perfect. It is definitely a little bit more efficient to have it online, but it's just simply it costs a little bit too much. So
I
Yeah.
know there's some alternative free options. Is that something like security wise we don't want to do from what you've seen?
alternative free options.
Like Google has a lot of options like Google Sheets, or not Google Sheets, Google Forms, things like that.
Oh, yeah,
We could do stuff like that.
yeah, I mean, I guess, using Google Sheets like a shared document so people can reserve their own.
Well, with Google Forms, you can connect it so people can fill out what they want to reserve and then it'll automatically go into Sheets, or there's other things as well that could be potential. Maybe that's something we could
That's
touch on.
something that we could
Yeah,
definitely
w-
workshop.
we would need
See
to
if we wanna do
definitely
something like
work, look
Mhm.
into that.
Yeah, we could
Um,
definitely workshop that.
Okay, sounds good. Also, well, I guess we'll get to this. Never mind. That's
Okay.
later.
Do we have a motion to approve the claims?
Everybody had a chance to review. I believe I've got them now, Rita had a chance to review them, yeah.
Guess I might as well mention it. The no fishing signs, how many fishing signs was that? We're gonna, four.
For each
Okay.
corner of the lake. These ones are the kind of bigger with digital graphics on them, just basically showing the grass carp. They're pretty big, they're sizable ones. The ones that I would get just for catch and release only, they'd be a bit smaller and I'd put them a lot like around the
Okay.
lake a lot more. So
Are they metal signs then?
they are, yeah.
Awesome.
Do you have an update on the poacher?
Do have an update on the poachers. So we had somebody with a big net, a fishing net that was coming out and taking fish out of the park, usually some pretty big catfish. It was going on for a little bit, about 2 or 3 weeks, but we finally, DNR was actually the ones who caught them. They caught them at an Aldi. There was like 2 state police and then two conservation officers, and he said that they would not be back. So, yeah, I know we have had reports in the past of poaching, but I'm hoping that it clears up soon. So,
I think the gentleman they interacted with had some previous,
yeah, he's been going
Cases.
around everywhere for a while now and doing it. He actually did admit to it as well, which I was very surprised about because he was not very forthcoming with that information when we've talked to him in the past. So, but he admitted to it, and I think they booked him for it. I don't really know any of the details beyond that. I didn't. They didn't see a reason to tell me, I guess, what he got booked for, except for the fish, but like how long he's going away or what the fee was, but yeah.
okay, thanks.
So I'll go ahead and make a motion to accept the claims as presented.
I second it.
Motion has been made and seconded to accept the claims as presented. All in favor? Say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Friends of the Park. Nobody gonna speak for them? Okay. You want to come up to the box here so everybody can hear you?
No.
Well, hopefully most of you here have received an invitation. But you all are welcome. Hopefully you'll make it out at noon on Saturday for the 250 celebration.
Okay, thank you, Nancy.
That's the one that talked about some great guest speakers. Do you have any indication as to who the speakers are? You don't? Okay. I was curious. They left it open.
Aren't you speaking?
No.
Rips?
So, I want to start by reminding the board about the work H.C. Ricks has been doing at the park for many years now. We have donated over $3,000 worth of plant seeds, which we have planted and taken care of. Over the years, we have planted trees. We planted the butterfly garden outside the office. We planted the new perennial garden down across from the seat. And we have donated hundreds of volunteer hours removing invasive plants and helping take care of the beauty of the park. So what have we done recently? SWAT here just handed out my handouts. She worked on the Monarch Meadow the last couple of weeks. She has been helping get rid of the bad grasses that have invaded there and for smothering flowers. But despite that, she was able to identify 62 flowering plants in there. And so Monarch Meadow has been
62 different.
different
Types or
kinds of
62
plants,
plants?
62 different kinds of plants. Which is extraordinary. And, thank you, Liz. Okay, I don't know what this thing is, but I'll trust you. Okay, so, yeah, she's found some great plants there. They are less than we had originally wanted, but we're going to take out the bad grasses and reseed. And so I'm pretty pleased with the Monarch Meadow. The Black-Eyed Susans are opening now and the bee balms are about to open. So it will be beautiful for your summer. Pussy Toe Hill, which we talked about stopping the continual mowing on because we found great native plants there. And it's got wonderful native plants. It's got these adorable pussy toes. It's got roundleaf pachyera. We even found May apples. But because of invasive plants that had been along the edge of the woods, namely autumn olive, we found a bunch of autumn olives growing there since we quit mowing. So Jasper spent a few hours there yesterday, cut over 100 autumn olives out of Pussy Toe Hill. And I think we can, so it's going to look much nicer now. Duck Island is, it's a challenge. It's not only a challenge taking care of it, it's a challenge getting out there. So I lost my normal rower. I had to ask Cade to do it, and he only had one oar. So he had to stand in the boat.
If I tell the story about that real quick, if that's okay.
Go right ahead, Cade.
Okay, so we were putting in the rest of the aerators and we were rowing against the wind, and I just don't want it to make it sound like I just snapped it. I don't know. I was rowing and it snapped. Kenny Ford was there and it cut my hand a little bit too, but we got new oars. They're on the way because I got new oars and then it was broken actually, so I had to return it, and so we're getting new oars.
So to get us out to Duck Island, Cade stood in the rowboat and like a gondolier used the row and
Is that what the picture's of?
yes, that's the picture. And he even sang to us.
Oh, brother. Whoa.
So we have many good plants growing out there, mostly on the flat top area. We've got Black-Eyed Susans, bee balms, a couple of smooth blue asters, but we have many bad smartweed plants. He and SWAT were pulling them out while I was taking care of the curly ducks. We may need to mow it. I don't know how we're gonna get a mower out there, but
Cade can do it.
yeah, Cade can do it. He can do anything. So that's the work we've been doing. I wanted to then turn the page to the request that I made last time for protected areas. We had a motion and a second, and we wanted to have more clarity of the boundaries. And luckily, in the meantime, we've gotten this assessment and mapping by Kevin Tungesvik. So I went with that. So for Storytime Hill, the hill above the seat, I say we should follow Kevin's map. So I took a picture of his map there on the right. The solid blue oval area is the actual seat. And the, what would you call that shape? Minnesota? Above the seep is the hill that feeds into the seep. So it would basically be from the seep up to that new shelter house. It would be from the mowed grass on the west to the mowed grass on the east. It's pretty clear boundaries. So that's what I would request for Storytime Hill. Shall I go on to the next one, or do you want to vote on that? I don't know how you want to handle this.
I think just going to the next one.
Okay. The next one is the area around the suspension bridge. And again, I would recommend that we follow Kevin's map, which is pretty clear. It's the big, I don't even know what to call that area, some kind of monster claws. But you can see the road going through because there's a space there, an angle on the upper left-hand corner. That's the road. And so basically that would be the west edge. And then there's a road there on the north. You know, we don't do the grassy areas. The grassy area stops to the south. To the east, I was not as familiar with the park, which is one reason I wanted Kevin's assessment, because I haven't walked every square inch of your park. He did. And when he walked it all, he thought this whole large area should be protected. I guess I would recommend that based on the science that he gave, assessing your park. I assume you all have had a chance to see Kevin's assessment.
I'd like to, has everybody read the assessment? I just didn't know if everybody has or not. So you have not read the assessment? Okay.
It's in your packet.
It was in your packet and then also emailed to you, I believe so.
So the areas I'm talking about have been impacted by disc golf. So I leave it to the board whether you want to go ahead and work on these motions that you made at the last meeting, or if I should continue with my report and come back to it.
Oh, no, you guys did some more this afternoon, at least I think, some of the areas. I've not been in this area, I would like to have an opportunity to walk through it. With you or whoever,
Certainly.
to be able to see what.
I would be glad to.
it does.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting report. It has information that the Memorial Park Board will be able to use for years. The detail he went into, it's just really valuable information. And I'm really glad he was able to get that out for us.
I was shocked that he did it so fast.
He almost had to. Many of the plants he needs for this assessment disappear during the heat of the summer. So he had to get out and see them. I didn't know if he could even do it this late in the year. So it's an excellent assessment. HC Rips donated, we'll pay them $4,000 for this assessment and share it with the park because we wanted you all to have this valuable information of what you have. And what you have is a treasure. You have a remnant forest that has been relatively undisturbed since Indian days, with plants that are disappearing from our world, and with the plants, the life they support. Because each plant supports a different number of pollinators, which then pollinate other plants. And the pollinators then support the birds, because many of the birds eat the caterpillars that they make. And Kevin's report doesn't go in to the value to your parks, people who come to your park, your visitors, the people who come for some peace and quiet in our chaotic world, the sad woman who may have just left her husband and she needs a quiet place to sit and think about things, the troubled teenager who can't get away from the noise and chaos of our world. We need these quiet places. And I will remind you, these woods, as assessed by Kevin, they're old woods. They've been here for hundreds of years. And if they're taken care of, they will be here for your park's enjoyment for hundreds of years after us. According to the research I've done, an average disc golf course lasts 10 to 15 years, just to put things in perspective. The disc golf, as it's planned, is a problem. for these high quality woods. These are not woods. So I have my own woods. I've been taking care of my woods for 30 years. I could take care of them for another 30 if I lived to be 100. And I could never have woods the quality what you guys have at Memorial Park. Leanne, my neighbor, has better woods than mine. She could put in another 30 years. They could never be as good as what you've got. What you've got is unique and precious. The disc golf damages them almost beyond repair. Kevin in his report tells us about, now I lost track of what I was talking about. I'm nervous. Kevin tells us about the disc golf course at Blue Heron in Avon. They let them put in the disc golf and they made them take it out. Not even from just the construction of the course, but the erosion and the compaction and the destruction of the habitat. And they made them take it out of their park, and they had to pay expensive money for remediation to try and repair all the damage that was done. There's also a park that was up in Lake County. Similar issue, erosion, compaction, destruction of habitat. They had them take out the disc golf holes that are within their woods. It will be cheaper to fix it if we stop now. If we don't let it be used, compacted, compressed, damaged. It will cause erosion. It goes over 4 creek crossings and there will be erosion, and the park already has problems with erosion. That's one of the major problems that these other parks have had with it. The creeks, some people, not all of them, but some people will actually just splash through the creek, stir up the silt that will go down to your fishing areas. That will cause problems with your water quality. The trees. Oh my gosh, does anybody love trees? So we counted, Aiden and I, these trees, many trees were cut. I think many more than you all were led to expect to happen. They were cut so flush with the ground, they were hard to find, but Aiden and I spent a few hours on just the fairway of 17, and we found over 60 trees that had been cut to the ground. And it wasn't even finished yet. And the trees are what are so much what makes Memorial Park special. The birds, okay, the birds will be impacted beyond just the space where their trees were taken out. Those whizzing discs can hit nests that are right around at eye level. That's around where your cardinals nest. Also, many of our most precious birds, like the hermit thrush and the wood thrush, the best songstresses in our forest, they nest on the ground level in the leaf litter. Many of our butterflies, like the mourning cloak, they sleep through the winter in the leaf litter. They will be stepped on. And then, as I say, the peace and quiet that I think so many of us need will be disturbed. I have an offer. HC Rips puts their money where their mouth is. And we're ready to offer that if disc golf will move out of the wooded areas, we will raise money. I'm looking at up to $5,000 to plant trees in the grassy areas where they can relocate their disc golf to make it more appealing for them, to give them shade, to give them scenic things while they're stepping on the grass instead of on our sensitive wildflowers. I would want a hard and fast contract that if those trees got harmed by disc golfers, they would replace them. But that offer, just on the drive over here, I changed my mind based on what the park wants, because our loyalty, I'm not against disc golf. I'm okay with it out in the grass. But our loyalty is not as much to disc golf as it is to the park. And if the park would rather we raise money and use it to help restore the areas that have already been damaged, we would rather raise money for the park itself. But I would leave that choice up to you. but only if disc golf leaves the wooded areas of Memorial Park. I'm open to questions.
Do any board members have any questions or comments?
I'll coordinate with
Yeah, be glad to.
Kate, as superintendent, do you have any questions you haven't already asked her? I know you see her on a frequent basis. We're not going to resolve anything here tonight. There's
Yeah.
too much study to do. So if you don't have something right now, that's okay.
I guess I have more of just comments than anything, but I'd like for disc golf to go ahead and if they would like to respond as well, I'd like for them to go.
Yeah, we're gonna, Chris,
Here, you want the blue thing?
you can just come up here if you want to.
Can I throw it?
I throw stuff, I don't
It,
catch
it,
it.
it has been thrown before.
All right, let me pull my notes up here because I'm squirrel brained and will forget if I don't have it in front of me. Hello, my name is Chris with Muncie Area Disc Golf Club. For anybody here that doesn't know who I am, we're a not-for-profit organization. We help maintain Yorktown, Muncie, and I've helped install 4 or 5 courses around the area personally, and our club's done even more. I manage Yorktown. Carl Scott Disc Golf Course is what it's called. It clears 4,000 plays tracked per year. And then 800 plus of those being unique individual people tracking, you can multiply that number by 5 over the span of a year to figure out how many people are probably playing your course for real that aren't tracking their rounds. Nearly 1,000 players are from outside of 10 miles and over 100 are from outside of 100 plus miles. 3.5 new courses go in every single day. Indiana itself has 500 plus courses. When maintenance and things go in, sometimes there are bad eggs and have poor intentions. And I think that's just the kind of case with everything in life. This course, without question, is going to be one of the top 20, if not top 10 in the state. That matters because when people are searching, they're trying to find the best in the area when they're traveling through. And this benefits by it being 15 minutes off 69, 15 minutes off I-State 70, and it's right on State Road 3. So a lot of positive traffic in that way. I'm skipping around. On top of just it existing, it's got a large benefit to the community itself. Accelerate Disc Golf, Sean's here with me. They've helped get disc golf into dozens and dozens of elementary schools. This course is going to also help them fundraise their means and be used for other situations just as that. And fun fact, disc golf is 3 to 5 times quieter than pickleball, in case you've ever been around a pickleball court. Yeah, and children's parks, that's true. I move it around. Essentially, disc golf is just hiking for people that like to count, is really what it is at the end of the day. You throw, you count a bunch of times, you walk to the end of the thing, turn around, walk the other way. This course alone was done with geography and existing plants and trees very much in mind. There are disc golf designers who go through, they look at a map, a top down, and they will cut in and out trees in the way of, they want it to be this way. This course was not done with that in mind. This course was done with, here's our existing shapes. We will make that work with removing invasive species, removing dead, dying, damaged stuff, honestly scooting a lot of stuff out of the way for things that have fallen, all that happy stuff. We are currently at $20,000 spent on this project already. We're 4 years in-ish. Just this year, we spent around 20 grand. And I've spent a couple grand of my own money as well on certain things, but I personally have been out for about 125 hours this year walking. I'm out here every Thursday, Saturday that I can possibly be out here. I firmly believe that we volunteers have abided by what we have set out to do and explained to do, removing invasive, ensuring that the course is safe to play. That is the main priority in design and execution is safety in general. Making sure we're not like, we have it's called a mandatory. It means you can't throw in this direction, to make sure people aren't throwing over the Storytime Trail, and making sure the design is implemented so that it's not thrown at playgrounds, near playgrounds, or existing monuments, especially. That was one of our stipulations as well. Make sure we're not throwing at or near monuments. We believe part of the frustration with all of this comes down to just kind of a lack of communication. We've had areas marked with flags and tape for 18 weeks. I've been out there personally every Thursday, at least on purpose, to make sure that I'm there when you guys are open. I know Saturday's a big ask, but that is one of my bigger volunteer days. But I make sure I'm there every Thursday to make sure that I'm in constant contact with someone with the park, with everything going on. The map itself was unanimously voted on. I didn't even grab my paperwork. Hold on. This is the motion of understanding that was signed and looked over by, got a copy of the email. Anybody would like a map just for reference on things? No. Okay, perfect. Okay. There's that, and then you got a map you guys can share. I'll pass a map over here for anybody who wants to look at it. Yep. Like I said, we've had areas marked for 18 plus weeks at least since February, when the map was unanimously voted to be added to the motion of understanding, which was also voted in unanimously as well. There were claims, things that were cut that shouldn't have been. We have abided by exactly what we've said for the past 4 years, what we're gonna happen. Invasive species, dead, dying, heavily damaged. That's what we've sat by. If something's already been cut by those in years past, we have to cut it flush to the ground. Otherwise, I've got another guy who will go out and break his arm on stuff. I'm sure you guys heard about that fun. If something's cut flush to the ground, yes, it was us, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we initially cut that tree down. If it's a stump, I have to take it off at the ground. On the Storytime Hill, where claims of 60 plus trees were taken out, I just quite frankly don't believe that. Helen herself said that there was a person who went through well before the disc golf course, that they went through and cut out dozens of maple trees throughout the park, which I found. I found the maple trees, I cut them up, I've reused them, I've lined the fairways with them. I even made a little footpath to go over a root ball to make sure nobody's unsafe trying to walk through that area. Many things throughout, So, and also with like windstorms, some stuff heavily damaged by, we had the windstorm not that long ago that took out power on the north side of the park. We had some stuff over on holes 8 and 9 that also abide by that we took it out because it was dead, dying, damaged. I had a board member with me on multiple days who can quite frankly say that I'm doing exactly what we've said we were gonna do the whole time. Nothing bigger than our wrist is being cut out only if necessary. There's examples like hole 4, hole 9, or hole 4, hole 8, and many more that there's still smaller trees than that, and they're there. I went and saw it with some of the board members earlier today. I do, however, wish that like in that it's been for 18, everything's been marked for 18 weeks, that somebody would have went through and looked with us kind of to help explain some of the situations, like us already finding things that have been cut in years past, things that were damaged and that sort of thing. Unfortunately, we're past that. I just think that's where a lot of the frustration and potential complaints have come from. This course in general is an act of conservation. At its root, when the MOU says that, hey, you guys have to talk to us before you put something in the middle of a fairway. That way we're making sure that, one, we're not ruining any efforts put forth by all my volunteers or the money or our sponsors. And it's a safety thing. Make sure we're not, throwing a playground in where it could potentially be dangerous if it's near a basket. But again, the entire design of the course was, it is safe in its current configuration. In the MOU, it talks about maintenance. Part of that maintenance is helping with and maintaining erosion. If something erodes away, that's obviously bad for us. I can't make something unsafe by having a side surface that's, people are gonna slide and fall down. Or if something's gonna fall over, like keeping trees from eroding away, that sort of thing. That is part of the maintenance in a disc golf course. Some of the areas, there's been complaints that areas were too large of clearing. The problem is if I'm clearing out a 10-foot area and there's a 25-foot honeysuckle on my right side, I'm gonna take out the entire honeysuckle. So it then looks like I cleared out a potential 35-foot area when it, in reality, at the end of the day, is gonna be 10 feet. This is all, like I said, the majority of the maintenance itself goes in the MOU itself. It's falls on me, Muncie Area Disc Golf Club, and our not-for-profit to maintain it. And we've set out to do that, and we've proven we do that with the courses that we help maintain and manage. No course we have ever installed has ever been taken out or been even remotely deemed unsafe or horrific for the environment, for lack of better words. At the end of the day, I think we said it before, like I said, it's not that plants are bad and we like trees. We keep as many of the trees as possible, dead, dying, damaged, the only things we're trying to take out. The end of the day, it's still a park, not a nature preservation. And with that, was why it's important to us, because it's, all right, we want to bring community to the park. And our way of doing that is helping out with the disc golf. More than happy to, in good faith, making sure every spring we have what's called a spring fling, which every county has it, but and it would be specifically going towards raising funds for more preservation-like things throughout the park, planting trees, planting flowers. That's, like I said, I do not believe we've done anything outside the scope we claimed we would do. And, but still, like I said, in good faith, more than happy to do that. We are hoping for a opening date of this Saturday for my volunteers. And that's kind of like a air quote soft opening. The course is open. People are playing it already. One of your board members played it 3 times already, and I had no idea. But the course is open, but the public, I'm gonna have a little party for my volunteers and stuff on the 20th. And then the like opening, air quote, grand opening for like public, the event's up already. It's a C-tier flex event. It's on the 28th. I made sure with Liz that those dates were open before I scheduled anything and made sure that nothing was reserved throughout the park to make sure any of those were a problem. Would we like to, do you have any questions, concerns, comments, whatever? The main reason I honestly came today was to have everybody here vote on a name of the course, because I wanted that to be like a community thing and not just hey, I came up with an idea. So that's why a lot of these guys are here too, was to, some of them pitched in ideas and stuff for the names of the park, but obviously if you vote to remove it, I don't think naming it's that big of a deal. So.
Can you give us an example of a course that's close, that's in a similar environment?
In a similar, so there's Hazel right over there in Noblesville. That's probably about the closest as far as, hey, that one's way more wooded. Goes through kind of similar trails. It's over, and then Somme Park as well. It kind of shares property with the golf. Hazel Landing. Hazel Landing's the first one, and then Somme, S-A-H-M, Somme Disc Golf Course. Castleton, yeah. Oh yeah, Boondocks, thank you. Boondocks is right there over in Knightstown. It's hilly elevation, a lot of trail usage. It's a little closer to this, but this course is a bit more on the difficult side, and that's intentional because quite frankly, the surrounding areas don't have a truly difficult disc golf course. We have like a super great beginner course, 2 of them. We have a really great couple intermediate courses around the area, and then you're probably gonna have to drive like an hour and change for the upper level disc golfers to find a real challenge. Quite frankly, the area doesn't have a lot of high level pro disc golfers when many other cities in the state have those. And I firmly believe that's just because they didn't have anything hard enough to play to get up to that level. So, oh, Fall Creek's a good one.
In some of those locations or any of them that you guys manage, have you guys noticed a lot of concern from the community of wear and tear, foot traffic?
None, and I have a pretty good relationship, and honestly, the Baker Park people love the disc golf crew, especially. That's just a local example. Boondocks is on a private property, so it's a little funky. It's ebbed and flowed a little bit with people, changing hands of who owned it and stuff, but the disc golf course has been there forever. There's a couple there's one up by Frank Mary. I don't know if you guys, it's up by the Muncie Speedway. It's on a private area. Blue Heron Park still exists. I don't know where the claim of that it was removed or maybe changed. I don't know where that claim came from. I found it in our UDisc app and it says it was played today, so.
They have to remove several holes out of the woods and.
They just added 9 more holes to Blue Heron.
Do you guys manage the Carl Scott one?
Yep, that's the one I manage.
Okay, I was thinking,
I
we
live 2
talked
blocks
about
away.
that. Yeah, that one, I don't know. I'm not too familiar with
fun
all of
mixture.
them,
We
but
have some
I've been to that one.
around the creek. I actually just had a great meeting with the town board and all them, and they're helping us remove some of the invasive species that come in through Buck Creek, but they're trying to throw money at me because they see such a benefit of disc golf in the area.
Yeah, there's been a couple in the area that I've looked at, and that's one particular that certain areas make me think of Memorial Park.
Sure.
And I really haven't noticed any wear and tear out there myself.
I would call
so.
Carl Scott like a baby version of what you guys have. It's only got like 5 floors of elevation change once you're all said and done. And it's a little mixture of woods and open. And then your course is going to be closer to like 20 to 25 floors of elevation change walked by the time you're done with it. It's a workout. It's a good time.
So I read through the MOU earlier today. Kate was nice enough to send me a copy to all 3 of my email addresses to make sure that
I have to,
You never know. You never know.
yeah, so I caught it on my work email and had a chance to review it. And I gotta be honest, I'm disappointed in myself that when we were going through the edits, that we didn't put more to address, some of Helen's concerns.
And honestly, like when I initially walked it 4 years ago, some of the members of the board here were there. I wasn't told no once, and that's, it's a little concerning just in general on the side of conservation and safety things. And, that's why I'm glad that I came through, because my priority is safety. And you never know if you got somebody to come through who didn't have that priority, something dangerous could have happened. So.
And the way the MOU is written, now hindsight, reading through it again, it's more protective and supportive of the disc golf than it is, the preservation of the park. And so I hate that I overlooked that in my review of it. Obviously, all the board members had an opportunity to review it, but so I'm disappointed that I didn't catch that. I recall a lot of conversations leading up to the vote to support going forward in the public meetings, speaking to the fact of being minimally disruptive and those kind of things. And so it's hard when you talk about you found a stump, so you cut it shorter, to be able to distinguish whether that was a tree at one time or if it was truly a stump.
Do you mind if I comment? And I understand that is something I should have been more on top of. It's just, I definitely should have been more on top of it. I'll take my licks too, because that's on me. I should have been out there. I should have seen these things ahead of time, especially because when I talked to you, that was already after the last cutting. That's on me. But it is, even though you say that there's stuff that's knocked down or there's stuff that you have to cut off, to me, it's a little suspicious when the size that you said, the forearm, and some stuff that's like basically maybe a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller, all of that is cut down in the same exact path of the freeway of excuse my terminology. Yeah, fairway, there you go. the fairway for the disc golf, it's extremely, it just lines up pretty good. And then also as well, I did get information that usually you're there with them, but there were a couple times that you weren't there with them while they were cutting as well. And to me, like, I should be watching over you guys more. That's my fault as leadership of the park. But I also feel like you should be, as the leader of this kind of group, be with your people the entire time. So then when you say these things, I can go back and be like, okay, Chris was there, so I know that he gave them permission to cut that thing. It's also when we were walking through the park together, when I first started, honestly, like about 2 months in, last fall, yeah. That's when the first was brought up to me that the impacts and changes would be minimal. In my opinion, 30 feet wide is just not minimal. And I understand that sometimes you have to, there could be invasive stuff on the corner that you have to cut out, and that might make it a little bit bigger. I guess my confusion is why does it have to be up to that point already, or even close to that point? I thought when I was first walking through with you, I guess I had it in my head that it was going to be like 6 feet wide, 10 feet wide, something along that kind of sphere. Maybe, I guess sometimes there's a lot of honeysuckle and you cut all of it out, that makes it that wide. But it's just, I was confused when I saw going into where the cherry trees were cut. Why was it that wide to begin with? Because like you said, sometimes you have to chop and it makes it maybe 35 feet instead of 30. But why are we at the 30 as a base minimum?
I think base minimum's disingenuine.
Okay, I was saying average. I had measured them, so I just
I
wanted
understand.
to.
There's definitely sections that are that wide,
Yeah.
especially, okay, big trees fell, they cleared out stuff. We took out stuff that
Mhm.
was like damaged by those trees.
Yeah,
It becomes that wide. Like, for example, hole 5, the start of and the end of are exactly what we've said they were gonna be. It's 5 to 10 feet wide, especially. Some spots throughout the course are narrower than that, and these guys who've played it can probably attest to that. Yeah, so I'm definitely more on the take less outside of things. So hole 1, 2, oh, sorry, I have to go through them all. I had 5, 6.
I could bring up the one.
So hole 8, another great example where like some sections look like I may have cleared out a large portion of it, where a large portion of that was the electric company when they came through and reran the cabling, especially in the middle of the fairway. That's the one behind the superintendent's house. But like the gist of that hole is I can probably barely walk through it like this for the most of it, for the large majority of it. And then, as I've always explained, around the baskets, you kind of got to clear out a 30-foot area just to give people a fair way to get to the basket. Stuff that I've always said since the very, very beginning. And then a lot of the claims of things being cut that are larger than our wrist as well, is those are on areas that are on slopes. And when I have to cut it into the ground so my guys or players don't trip over them, we kind of get into the root system. So it starts to look like, okay, if a tree is, or whatever, is 2 to 3 inches at a foot high,
Mhm.
it looks like it's 5 to 6 inches at the ground, especially if we're getting that deep into the roots, to make sure we're not tripping, falling, or tearing our rotator cuff. So that's where I think some of the accusations also come from as well. 95% of everything done in this park has been done with hand loppers. Those open like this. So they keep, and our volunteer days, there was one volunteer day that I wasn't there, that they used a chainsaw, and they sent me pictures that it was a fallen tree on hole 5. And it was right there in the beginning, and we just had to like, hey, we got to cut this already fallen. This tree's probably been dead for half a decade. Cut through, that way we have a safe place to walk next to the creek. That was the only time a major chainsaw was used throughout the entirety of the course. We have a little hand saw that quite frankly barely cuts tension in the room, and that's what I used, especially on honeysuckle, because honeysuckle's the devil as far as I'm concerned with cutting it and removing it. So that's where the electric saw gets its primary use, is the honeysuckle. Examples of that is when I did the walk from 1 to 2, I have pictures on our public page of before and afters of essentially everything we've ever done. The days my volunteers were there, the other day especially, or the other date especially, that I was not there, a large group, it was like 7 or 8 people. I don't think an electric tool was used that day. So I have no problem putting faith in my volunteers that day, that they did anything beyond the scope of what they were told to do, which is the same thing I've kind of iterated throughout our last 4 years of what the plan was. That day, the 2 days especially, I made sure people were there that had attended my volunteer days that I would trust to run said volunteers days if I couldn't make them on those 2 or 3 days that I may not have made it where I had other volunteers go out. Yeah, sorry, so I lost track of where I was for a second.
Okay.
Mm.
Could you, so the reason that they're being
Okay.
cut so
So-
wide,
There's 1 or 2 holes, especially where it was a large fallen tree that we cleared out, and this hole 5, that's in the middle of it, it kind of bellies out to a larger section. That was 2 fallen trees that we cleared out to use that space. But again, the beginning and end of the holes are very much in line with those things. And again, I think a large section becomes like, all right, if I'm clearing out honeysuckle or using an existing trail, it might expand beyond what it looks like should be 10 feet or 15 feet or whatever we want to call the average range. The idea is that, all right, if I took out the invasives, we let regular nature grow back. And that's part of, again, the maintenance part that falls on us, Muncie Area Disc Golf Club, to make sure that those grow back properly without the invasives taking over. And quite frankly, if I let the natural stuff grow back, it's way easier than maintaining the 75 square foot area of thorn bushes I had to take out on 17. So
If I may speak up, I consider myself the honeysuckle expert of the room.
I'll put myself in second place. I like that. That's fine.
So all the blue areas on Kevin's map would not have much in the way of honeysuckle. They don't grow deep in the forest unless the forest is terribly invaded. And then they wouldn't have made either the green or the blue part of Kevin's map. There can be honeysuckle in these areas right at the edges. So all of this clearing that's 30 feet wide and every tree within the 30 feet going through Storytime Hill, everything's been cut down. You can't blame that on honeysuckle. That was straight up trees.
Most of Storytime.
Let's not get into that for right now. We'll consider both sides and we'll do it with due consideration. Okay, thank you.
I will say
Could
that
I ask you one question?
real quick.
If
can I
you're
just-
finished with.
Real
okay.
fast. The honeysuckle does pop up on existing trails throughout those areas. Anybody who's walked any of those trails, we drag it on our shoes. It happens. There is honeysuckle throughout those areas if you just walk the regular paths, regular trails that have existed in the park for a long time. Go ahead, bud.
In Ecologic's report, they mentioned that it appears that a stream corridor had been cleared. Do you think that you impacted any of the streams in the area and put a
In the report at all,
fairway down there?
in the report at all, did it say where? That would help me a little bit.
No, but you might recognize it by the picture. It appears to be a downhill.
So that's specific. That's hole 5. I'm actually seeing that.
Yeah,
That's-
I thought it was 5. Yeah.
That's where our volunteers took out that big chunk of tree that was kind of in the way.
So does that path follow a
We have
stream that was there?
volunteers making 3 different bridges to get over those streams specifically.
Okay.
That being one of them. 5, 9, 8, 5, 8, and 9. Which, yes, it's streams and drainage. Again, we have bridges on the way to make sure that they're not just trampled through. The guy, Troy, he helped make the red elevated section. He's already, I talked to him when we installed those last week, and he's already making those bridges.
keep people on the bridge, on the path. Obviously, the exception.
Right.
The ball doesn't go,
Right.
straight in fairway every time, but.
I mean, it's the whole point of the game is to get the lowest score possible. And when when you're in the middle of the thick woods, not in the maintained areas, you're not going to get the lowest score possible. So that's part of like the built-in enforcement with disc golf. Nobody's going out to try to throw as many times as possible. Right. So that's why like I said, the areas were very specifically picked around existing geology and trees to minimize any impact at all.
And I know you impressed upon us early as we were considering the golf course. The respect for nature that most disc golfers have.
Correct.
And that's why they enjoy being out there, because
Right.
they enjoy being in nature.
Right.
not disrupting.
Yeah, like I said,
Hopefully that helps.
correct. Like I said, honestly, like, especially at a course like this, disc golfing is like I mentioned, it's hiking for people that like to count. And that was part of the excitement and enthusiasm so many people had, was that this course is getting them to areas they otherwise wouldn't know existed. Even some of your biggest sponsors didn't know the suspension bridge was there until we were there looking at it with the disc golf course. So that's.
I'm just concerned about the areas that have been cleared so wide, just because if you do the math for those different areas, that adds up to taking about acre and a half out of our forest, and we don't have a whole lot of the forest anyways.
Got about 40-ish acres on the side of the park.
Mhm.
That's all stuff I know. That's because that was in our.
Yes, around that much for the entire side of the park. Yeah, I think it's probably, I think it's in the ecological report, but yeah.
It was in my initial pitch for the disc golf course too.
Mhm.
There was something along with that. Squirrel brand, sorry.
So I think you implied though, talking about soft opening, I think you implied that you've done.
Yeah,
With any kind of removal,
Yeah.
there shouldn't be.
there's wildly little left to do. When I say that, I mean, especially like on 18, is that trail 1? Up on the hill where the cannon used to be, is that trail 1?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so that one has some honeysuckle specifically on the walk out, which you guys are probably already gonna take care of anyways at some point, but we'll happily do it because it also affects the disc golf course. It's when you walk out from, I don't know if you've been there. Have you seen where the basket is on that hole?
Mhm.
Okay, when you walk out, there's just stuff kind of growing in the way. And then that's effectively it. Like I said, we've had people out playing it already. It's effectively done. And there's just, there's a little bit of frustration, I think, on both sides, and I think it's all warranted and worth absolutely discussing. But at this point, when it was ordered to halt, that's gonna cost us about $2,000 now extra, because they had to clean out and reorganize, or clean out the cement truck, dispose of the cement that was not used, and then redeliver it all and all that happy stuff. So there's just frustration, I think.
I did want to also state too, I don't take that lightly, and I don't take.
I don't think you do, bud.
Yeah, and I can't have people taking trees out of my park willy-nilly. I'm not saying that you did that. I'm saying that I find a lot of the ones that were around the area, around the description you gave me, cut down in that area. That's why I have a lot of concern. Also the wideness of those spaces as well. I appreciate all the manpower and money that has went into it, including the person who broke his arm, because that sucks. But
Right there.
yeah,
Right there.
I am still worried about the impression that it's going to have on the forest. So, but I think that's all the comments I have. So I think my guys bring up the point too of a lot of these go over trails as well. A lot of them go over trails in different areas. And again, me problem. I could have brought these up when I was walking through with you. Some of them are new though, and I didn't walk through, but they had the tape. But I am a little worried about, especially the one behind my house that's actively on a like an active trail. I worry a little bit. I mean, there's a couple of them that are on the trails, but this one is like, it's way off in the distance and it's behind, like the net is behind the trail. So I feel like that one might be more dangerous than others.
I fully understand. And in my initial very first, I don't think you weren't even here for it. I gave examples of 4 or 5 disc golf courses that all have active trails throughout. Disc golfers are very, very aware. Baker Park is a great example. They have walking paths and trail through it. We know that the walking people get priority, especially on everything. And it's as simple as like we add, which we already have in the designs, on those signs, on those like pole signs specifically, it's like, watch for hikers. Because some of them may not know it's there.
I'm not worried about Chris Carroll though, or any of the people who came here, because you all seem very intelligent, but I'm worried about the random person who has a disc who's starting out for the first time, maybe like Levi, but maybe even worse of a name. So that's what I'm worried about the most, especially because those things can hit the trees and damage the trees and make way for disease and different invasive species to kill those trees. I understand.
There's a lot of mitigation that can go into that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like protecting especially things straight off tee pads where we deem them necessary. Like I said, tying bamboo slats to stuff that is natural and helps protect the trees is its own little armor if we feel like, hey, that tree's in danger. There's also in the very, like, this course, again, it's hard. And when people look it up, it's going to say, this is a difficult disc golf course. It's in every single disc golf course. It says easy, medium, hard, whatever. Very few, if any, are going to be willy-nilly brand new people. The brand new people are going to go to the Rock. It's a fantastic new guy course. So especially people, and there's no like foot traffic here necessarily. People will come to the park to use the park. It's not like, oh, there's a school on one side and people have a bunch of foot traffic getting back and forth. You guys have people coming here to use your park, and the disc golf course will be the same thing. People will be coming to use it with good intentions, overwhelmingly. And when they see, hey, this is a hard disc golf course, and on hole 1, just like Saraland, as you guys just saw this weekend, I'm going to have a sign that says, hey, this is a difficult disc golf course. If you are new, we recommend the Pebble and whatever other new Pebble, the Rock, all the other courses in the area that are much more beginner friendly. So there's also like, just a heads up, it's not for beginners necessarily, so.
What's the intent of the day, President?
I think that everybody needs to look at the report that has been submitted. I'm sure you'll have some questions to ask. Probably can't generate them that quickly tonight.
Also, I'll quickly have to, I'm responding to the mediation of just putting in the disc golf course in the grassy areas. On my map, you can see I have areas that are marked out that are like playgrounds, and there's some that I don't even have necessarily on there because they're small monuments and stuff, but this park doesn't facilitate enough area to have a disc golf course just in the grassy areas that would be safe.
That's right, because grassy areas are the areas most commonly used for young children.
Playgrounds and stuff, yeah,
families.
absolutely.
So it is. And I do see where there's some overlap. I'm curious to walk through some of it. With Ellen at some point in time, between some of your exclusion zones and some of the.
Oh, yeah.
areas that-
Like one of them especially was like the butterfly garden by the big shelter. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Monarch Meadows, thank you. Like Monarch Meadows, I have completely marked out on there as like a, hey, no area, because it was a protected area. And same with the stuff to the right side of Storytime Hill. That's all protected. And I said, hey, we're not going through that. So
Something that I agree with you on too is that parameters definitely could have been set ahead of time, and we could have talked about this in a lot better time frame, because I know you guys have been working on this for a long time. I could have brought it up a lot of times, but yeah, just going forward in the future, this has taught us all a lesson, I think. So
absolutely, and I appreciate it.
Talk about the monies that both groups, being able to raise and distribute. What's the intent of the money that we raise through people playing?
There's a lot of things. So we have an event planned, that grand opening on the 28th. And then that one's more of just, hey, and then it's gonna help us fundraise a couple small things we would like to add. Mostly just like a nicer welcome sign. And
The
then,
reason I asked.
yeah.
I'm leading in the question.
Sure.
That, can some of that money, I don't know what that looks like Helen was talking about being able to take, some of the kind of rips fundraising and put that towards more preservation within the
Right.
park. Would there be an opportunity to be able to?
Oh, absolutely. And like I mentioned that in my little spiel there. I know I said a lot, so it's a lot to keep track of. I understand. Like that was my, hey, in good faith, I'm more than happy to run a spring fling every year that goes towards preservation and planting trees where we deem necessary, like where we isn't we, everybody
Sure.
deem necessary, and planting like all of those sorts of things. So
Curious,
and
what do you anticipate an average year to look like as far as how much the disc golf revenue would generate?
towards specifically just that event, or in
No,
general?
Across the board, at the end of the year.
I mean, if, like I said, if we host,
Are you in the hundreds, are you in?
oh, it's thousands for sure. Just one event would, I think last year when we did a little ARF thing up at Muncie, for the animal shelter, I think we raised like $7,500 in just one event for ARF. And it's,
And again, I don't know what it looks like, what
But-
putting money into preservation of the park looks like, because it's hard to go back and go, okay, I'm gonna make this 100 years old. Kind of thing, it's, can't build a 100-year-old building, if you want to remodel the building. So, working through that.
sure.
Would be able to-
It- In your areas of transition between baskets and tee positions, will there be a prescribed course for those people to walk? Is there a determined trail that would maybe keep people from walking over some plants that are rare?
It's pretty, yeah, it's essentially like, the example is hole 1, 2, 3. It's 4 the suspension bridge. I'm not looking at a map. I'm pretty sure 4 is the suspension bridge. Hey, you throw through the gap, you go over, and then you use the existing trail that you guys have to get down and. Yeah.
Can I bring up an exact example?
Sure.
8 to 9.
Oh, you mean walking specifically?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So 8 to 9, you jump out, like there's the basket is like 30, probably closer to 50 feet from the trail that goes down to the amphitheater. I don't know what the numbers are, sorry. You go out, you use that trail to get over to 9. It's not like a big walk around thing. It's too little over. And the walking path doesn't exactly exist in its full nature yet. There's a really big tree down by that basket or by the tee pad. That one, we're just gonna trim up that already downed tree, and that's part of the walking path there too, so.
We know Kate and I walked all of that, and we know we wouldn't want people transitioning in a straight line,
Oh, yeah.
because that would go through some sensitive area. We talked about what was there and said, well,
On-
we can't let people go through here.
On the baskets themselves, there are also going to be markers pointing in the direction you're supposed to go after you complete the hole. And honestly, to some extent, we're lazy in the way that we're gonna use the existing thing as much as possible, because we don't want to walk through and get itchy and all this stuff. So like existing paths are what we're gonna walk through to get from A to B to C to D, so.
Is there a means to rope, to have a single rope, as a.
Oh, if something
as a
needs
guide?
protected as far as like trampling, yeah.
No, I mean, just as a guy, you go to the rope, you follow it.
Oh, sure. And a lot of it becomes, like I said, the little thing on the marker points you in a direction. And then in the app that tells you how to play and how you keep score, it has a live map that also will have like, hey, here's where you're going. That way people aren't necessarily flying blind.
How would you feel about getting one of your better players and one of your not so good players? Good. And walking
Play Levi.
walking through the course, if Helen and her people would like to do that and say, this is how we're going to play. This is where a disc might go. So that we can better understand what's going on. How are people transitioning between the different holes?
Sure.
And we'll come out and laugh. I mean, watch.
You should be laughing, I promise.
Well, take that a step further. It's something that Kate and I have talked about. I presume Helen would be more than happy to support, but, not put words in her mouth, but as we take these kind of through what we're at today, or take these opportunities to grow in the future, having somebody as an advisor to the board, a designee as an environmental advisor to the board. We don't have a vote or anything, but they're in the, if you have the capacity to feedback and advise them, review an MOU, hey, tell us what was missed. And what was kind of good thing. I think that would give you the position. Be able to take a different lens. We have a lens up here that is very different from lens we have out there.
I don't disagree at all.
I think that'd be advantageous. And over the course of, assuming that the disc golf is going to see, you can help, periodically walk the trail, walk the course, see where damage came down, how we can mitigate, those things. But food for thought for the board, maybe bring that back for the next item to further vote.
I guess my only concern at the moment, I guess, is that, like I said, the course is effectively done. We have people playing it and all that happy stuff already. I have an event scheduled on Saturday for our volunteers, and then the next Saturday, or excuse me, Sunday, 28th will be a Sunday. Sunday's like our kind of grand opening to say, hey, look, we have a disc golf course. Now, I won't have signs in the ground yet. I will have temporary signs. The signs are on order. And everything's taking longer than it should when it comes to ordering things. But I'll have like yard signs on each tee pad for signs themselves. And it'll also have, I think we have 15 or 16 of the holes also have a veteran that it's for, is the best way to put it, nominated for it. So those should also be on those temporary signs as well as when the permanent signs go in. But my concern is like, all right, if I put in a course, I have an event people already signed up for next on the 28th. We don't have a vote or anything.
How-
Till then is the problem.
How many people do you have signed up for that event?
At least, and the way disc golfers work is a lot of them nowadays wait till the week of to sign up because fair weather. Yeah. It's
Come on,
last year,
guys.
my 140 plus person event only had like 60 people signed up until the week before. And then they're like, hey, the weather's good, and everybody signed up. So it's just kind of how disc golfers in the last 2 years especially have operated, because there's so many events now. There's a lot of disc golf courses around the state. So
But even with those numbers, you don't have a concern. I assume you're only moving you through at a time. So it's not as if you're.
oh, it's not like I have a crowd of 50 people walking through
Yeah.
at one time. No,
How
it's
do you manage that? What kind of-
4 to a tee pad is kind of the standard. If events sell out, occasionally you'll get 5 to a tee pad. But this will be a flex start, which means everyone starts on hole 1. And we have a window. Golf does it too. Yeah, it's tee times. So the event's from 10 to 4, and then people will, as they're signed up and they already have they get to pick the times, but I adjust it based on, okay, we have to have more than 2, but less than 5. So, and the idea is 3 to 4 especially, at a time on those, walking through at once. It's not like it's 15 people in one crowd walking through. It's just 4 individuals typically.
I guess this is your opportunity to demonstrate.
Absolutely. Yeah, I have, like I said, I have more than any amount of faith in my volunteers and the disc golf community in general. It's not like we want more courses. We don't want less. And so we have to be nice to the park and the surrounding area and nature, and to make sure those things don't happen. So
Are there any disc golf in the state park, national park? They are putting in the-
yes, sir. 89% of all disc golf courses are on public land. And like I said, there's 5 new going in every day in the country. So,
in national park.
yep. They just there's a big one in California that like plays through the redwoods and stuff. It's real neat. Yeah, it's really cool. I need to get out and play that one. The one in Puerto Rico I play every year is also on a park. Is Fort Harrison technically, is that in the park itself or is that separate? Thank you. Okay, it's on the VFW, like up against, I wasn't sure.
The Fort Benjamin Harrison gave them the land.
Gotcha. So, okay.
So, but it's on the VFW's land there in Fort Benjamin Harrison. but it's-
You've seen our level of concern.
I understand,
as
absolutely.
the Keepers of the park.
No, absolutely, yeah.
On behalf of the family, so.
Absolutely, yeah, 100%. And,
We appreciate you being here.
thanks, guys.
I take 90 seconds just to add some about the good and the impact of disc golf. So I'm on the board, Accelerate Disc Golf with Sean and Zach. We're there.
Could you step up the
Yeah, no problem.
blue box, please?
So I'm on the board of Accelerate Disc Golf with Sean and Zach and a few other people. I'm also on the board of the Newcastle League, similar to Chris, just he's with Muncie. I also helped put in the park in Cambridge City. Just real quick, want to talk about disc golf. So it's super accessible at League every Wednesday at Baker Park. We have anywhere from 20 to 30 people, upwards of the age of 70 down to the age of 15, male, female, good players, not so good players. Baker Park has been visited just in this past year by 18 different states and actually a whole nother country as well. Accelerate Disc Golf, we've donated to nearly 40 schools free of charge, 30 to 40 discs, 2 or 3 baskets. We've taught hundreds, if not thousands of kids at this point how to play disc golf. And disc golf is great. It's maybe $30 to start. Most courses are free. It's gets you out in nature, gets people up off the couch. Just wanted to point those things out. You know, it's not specifically about Memorial, but disc golf is a great thing. And this course will be an incredible asset for us at Accelerate to host tournaments, to raise money, to donate to additional schools in the future.
Income from the community also.
Me personally, I'm from Cambridge City. I was at Memorial Park one time in my life before this year, and now I've been there like 7 times. So definitely brings people out to the park. And like Chris said, I've seen areas that I didn't even know existed. So just wanted to add that kind of on behalf of most of the people here. Thanks.
Thank you.
We have time for someone else to speak.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Nancy Lewis, and I'm kind of here, I believe in the plants, the flowers, the disc golf and everything, but I'm kind of here to represent, I have a vested interest in disc golf. I bought 2 holes, which is $2,000, because he is going to represent veterans. And my father was a veteran, my husband's father was a veteran. I think it's a great thing. I'm also on the grants committee and the board of the Henry County Community Foundation, who thought this was a great thing for our community, because quality of place is a great thing. And we do believe, you know, in the flora and the fauna and things like that, but I think we can coexist. And a lot of money was donated because we felt that it was an important community project. And it concerns me that we got this far where the baskets are there and, you know, everything, and now it's being pulled back when there is a written MOU that we did review, and we saw that you guys were behind it. And we also did a little tour not too long ago showing our donors, community donors from the foundation, what their money goes towards. So I think that's important too. I do believe that we can replant some trees, we can donate some things. I'd be glad to donate, you know, a tree or whatever. I believe in what Helen does too. I think we can coexist, but I do think we have to move forward in things that bring people to Henry County and, you know, make people want to stay and spend their money here and that sort of thing. And by the way, my husband and his friend are the ones with the chainsaw that cut the tree in half that was across the creek. So, you know, we didn't cause any harm, but, you know, and I talked to Kate about it the other day, you know, and I don't believe that, you know, there was any intentional harm. Should we go back and look at it and say, we could do better going forward and, you know, really concentrate on what we're doing? Sure. But since the community really pretty much rallied around it, I feel that it's really important that we make this all work. Thank you.
About the economical impact of new foot traffic coming into the city, where people will visit your KFC or your Wendy's and bring money into the county that was not there originally without that. Like a new Dairy Queen that just went in, people are like, hey, I just played a memorial. I walked 46 miles looking for my disc, time to go to Dairy Queen and let's get some food there. And that's actually actual and factual.
And I think we all understand that.
Yeah.
We're just concerned about the reparations of a really old.
Yes, and that's also.
So money doesn't talk to, I get everything that you guys are saying, and quantity of people, foot traffic is not a positive when you're talking about the age group, those kind of things. So it's the balance between the two. Right? Having 3 Airbnbs on Broad Street, I can completely relate, but it's extremely busy right now. And, because we've got stables and we've got go-karts and we've got so many other activities, this is another one that's good. And that's really part of our calculus. But the money doesn't outweigh, the preservation. So I think we're all talking the same language.
Step up to the microphone, please. If we don't do that, we're going to hear about it.
I'm Zach Patrick. I'm one of the members of the board of Accelerate Disc Golf. To your point about the ecological impacts and stuff, I just wanted to mention that, like, one of the reasons I'm into disc golf is because of the ecological stuff. I grew up a golfer, and then I saw with my own eyes the ecological damage that a golf course does. Because you wouldn't believe, I worked on a golf course as a kid. They put, and there's one right there at Memorial Park. You wouldn't believe how much fungicide and insecticide and, herbicide that you constantly have to spray that. And then all of the, watering and everything, all the gas to all the mowing and everything. It's awful. They think, oh, it's green. It's terrible for the environment. That's why I don't play golf anymore. But disc golf, there's no fungicide, there's no herbicide. You're not doing any of that. The one negative impact is there is some foot traffic through the woods, and it causes some, it does cause some soil compaction, just like a trail does. I wish it didn't, I wish it was, a perfect world where you could not damage any plants by walking through it, but everything people do has an impact. But in terms of things, if you built pickleball courts, you're destroying more land, having much bigger impact on the environment than a disc golf course where it's just people enjoying their time walking through the woods. And yeah, compared to something like a golf course, it's wildly better for the environment. And again, that's one of the main reasons I play disc golf, is because of the environmental impacts being so small compared to other sports. So I just wanted to share that. Thank you.
I think we got time for one more, maybe.
My name is Aiden Humbles. I wanted to talk about both sides. I've been an amateur casual disc golfer for about 2 years now. I play with my friends, and I've worked with protecting natural habitats for about 5 years now. And I fully agree with what disc golf has said about them not intentionally wanting to harm the environment. But me personally, and my friends, our discs go wild more times than where we're pointing at. And people can trample plants without meaning to. Hole 17, for example, I know that's been brought up several times. I helped go through and mark stuff. And we found several areas where plants have already been trampled. Things like mayapples, wild hyacinths, ginger, all kinds of stuff. Little trees, little oak trees, really important trees. We found 60+ stumps that I marked with flags. I know they said most of them were dead or dying or invasive, which I've worked in there removing invasive stuff, Norway maples, garlic mustard, stuff like that. And yes, there's dead stuff. There's a lot of dead stuff, but there's not that much. And we found a couple stumps of black cherries, for example, that had started regrowing, which obviously is not dead. So yes, disc golf may not be trying to harm stuff. And I love playing disc golf, but people can do damage without meaning to. So that's why I would like for this area to be protected, and if it can be moved, that'd be great. But yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Hear about how another park is managing their disc golf?
Oh, one more. Okay.
I'm sorry, didn't make enough for you.
My name is Louise Thompson, and I'm a volunteer for Healthy Communities. I contacted a number of disc golf courses throughout Indiana. In particular, I had a very good conversation with Lemon Lake Park that's in Crown Point, and I've been there before. That park consists of 402 acres and has 5 disc golf courses, playgrounds, walking trails, etc. I talked with Jay Zvutko. I don't know exactly. He's the director of the disc golf course at Lemon Lake. That park has 100-plus-year-old oak forest with some rare flora. And when they were building the course back in 1998, the park director rerouted it to avoid annihilating some rare plants. I'm quoting him for what he said. He and his wife, Deborah, are avid disc golfers. In fact, Deborah wrote an article for the Disc Golfer magazine about erosion in their disc golf course. Interestingly, she called me this afternoon and told me a bunch of different things, and they're not in any order. Since 1999, Lemon Lake has lost some trees due to emerald ash borer. Everybody's got that. And flooding that caused the trees to die. Every area brings some challenges. Trails will be created by the golfers, which can cause erosion. At a Lemon Lakes disc golf course, the erosion is causing trip hazards for the golfers because of the erosion leaving the tree roots out to make trip hazards. One of their areas is a prairie, and every few years they need to burn the prairie. And so they reroute the course then when it's burned, and then after the plants start to regrow, they'll go back. Lemon Lake also is protective of the public, so discs don't hit people or dogs. So they have the disc golf area separate from the walking trails. When a disc goes out of the flyway, most of the golfers go after that disc, so it's in the woods or whatever. Sometimes someone can't find it. Later, somebody else finds it. They've got a lost and found. Her suggestion was to start with 9 holes. I think we're past that already. And she said, make sure to supervise the contractor during installation. Their goal is to have a user-friendly disc golf course that follows natural lines and pathways already existing. They do not want gaping holes in the woods. She also believes that disc golf needs to be a grassroots game. Their disc golf course is education-driven for beginners. She stressed that the course needs to be both right-hand and left-hand friendly. I can't throw one for a darn. In general, disc golfers are respectful of property, and many help maintain the course. Disc golf brings people, volunteers, and money from fees to play disc golf to the park. That's how they do it. They also follow state and federal regulations concerning protective species. For example, one of their lakes is protected for waterfowl. The disc golf course was rerouted to an adjacent to go around the lake
and set up in a way so that no discs land in the lake. She asked if any of our rear plants were state protected, and I'm sorry, I don't know. She told me about a disc golf course in San Diego. It's not all that big, and it receives 10,000 visitors per year. Since the location is small, the San Diego course overcomes the erosion problem by target placement. They change the baskets every week to protect the property. It also changes the course. They have up to 8 pins per placement hole. There was some information about how to start baskets and equipment that I don't think you care about. But I'm hoping this is helpful in your decision. I don't know if you want to halt this and rethink. I know he's planning on an event, but 24 RSVP'd isn't very many. So, thank you.
Recommendations, suggestions from the board as to how to proceed past today.
Yeah. In my opinion, that there's no reason to, as I previously stated, wherever these run off to. There it is, there you are. There's too many, I'm not used to so many faces. There's usually like 3 or 4 heads out here, right? But as I indicated, that, this is an opportunity for the disc golfers to demonstrate, their constraint, in this first couple of events that you have scheduled. That's kind of where I'm at. I agree. And even to your point, several of your points, we've gone beyond a certain point. Now it's how do we manage it? How do we mitigate those kind of things? So, and we'll adapt and grow, and the board decides to have an environmental advisor as part of our bylaw. We have that part of our effort to help protect future generations. In my opinion, I think obviously we constrained them a little bit by the concrete. We put them into a different location and figure out how we proceed from there on that. If the pad necessarily has to be done, gravel, those are things we can talk to. But
the problem was it's like framed off and stuff, so I'm trying to figure out, now it's a safety issue of, I don't want somebody throwing them with it framed out.
But that's kind of a crazy.
We're going to go ahead and vote on this. After the Ecologic report, this is very rare forest. I just hope that if we do make any decisions that is taken into account. Like, it's very hard to get this forest back the way that it was. That's really all I got. There's very few places like our forest that we have here.
If we go ahead with it, I think you should have a sign made at the beginning about our forest, how different it is for everything, and let people know about it and all the plants and stuff.
I was just gonna say, and I love the idea of the special fund, it's always included horses. So the top sign is the full sign, second sign is the memorial for veteran that we're responsible for. The sign below it even like, paper, hey, here's the new area, please watch out for them.
I want to ask Helen a direct question. Do you think that the ecology and the disc golf course can cohabitate in the same park?
Golf course
is making irreparable damage. The reason that
The reason the scientists developed this coefficient of conservatism where they measure plants is so they could talk to developers and tell them what woods are appropriate for putting development in, any kind of development, be it disc golf, even trails, other things. And it gives a number because the botanists, the scientists, the ecologists had a difficult time communicating with developers. And what they found is, I kind of think the magic number is 4. Below that, you have woods like mine. It's got trees, it's got plants, but they can be stepped on and they'll come back. They'll survive. The plants of Memorial Park, the delicate hepatica has already, 2 of the large patches of it have been crushed at both the launching pad for the disc golf and at the basket. There are still some hepatica left. I doubt if they'll be left after a year of using this course because they'll be stomped on. The golden seal, I've only seen in Memorial Park. I don't think I've seen it in any of the other parks, anywhere in Henry County, an incredibly rare plant. It was weed whacked. It could come back, but it's right on a fairway. It will be destroyed. You will still have a woods. It will not be anything near the quality of the woods that you have even today with the damage they've already done. To me, it's a crime against nature.
You need to know what you have. I think you do in
That's
the report. And what you do with it is gonna be on your conscience for the rest of your life.
So why wasn't this report done 2 years ago when it was approved?
I'm not on the park board.
This report,
Yeah, but
This-
are you guys consulting the board? Have you been consulting the board for how long?
When did this started? Cade, we looked it up 4 years ago.
Okay, so they were here 2 years ago when this was approved. So at some point, someone was negligent and didn't do this, due diligence.
the report is
I-
new. It was just requested
Yeah.
at the last board
You could've
meeting.
Walked out there and if you're that good at what you do, which I know you are, you could have surveyed this park and said, stay away from this, stay away from this, stay away from this.
You know what? I take care of parks all over Henry County. And yes, I saw some flags. I had no idea what they were. I wish I'd been asked. I would have given the same opinion.
But it was-
Kevin's,
That's why I was saying it was approved 2 years ago. So at some point in the 2 years, up until this point that it was approved to go into ground.
Kevin's report is new information. I think it's worth taking into account. You didn't have that information before.
I might go ahead and make a motion if that's okay. I would I think what Terry was saying, just echo some of that, of move forward and allowing this event to happen without any additional construction per se, as much as possible. And for us to review it as a board, us to get together and look further into this information, because there is new information that was brought to us. And so I believe all of us, we don't know everything of what's going on with both sides, so we want to review this. So I would make a motion that we allow the event to happen and for us to review it to see what is next
And to be monitored
for the,
for the people, watch them, make sure they don't destroy anything in the meantime.
oh, yeah, I'll be there myself, but yeah, for the event to be monitored as well. That's a good point. Anything?
Just for information purposes, when is your next event or that you're going to try to put together?
Basically just a little thing here on this concert, you know, here's where I'll go out and play it and I'll bring the real up to the gravel lot, the top of it, all the course, and hang out. When it's public course or whatever. play it and all that stuff. But the 28th is optimistically our grand opening, but I'm remiss to have it if I don't have safe pads. And that's one of the main priority on some of those areas. Yeah, my priority is really getting safe.
The areas that aren't poured yet, what do those T-pads look like? Are they just dug out right now?
You guys already have them. Yeah, they're dug out, they're at bases there put in as well, and they're framed off.
If we're going ahead with this, could we just pour in more rocks to see like how it does? Could we take out the planks for now and then play off of those? Gravel's not safe.
These gravel specialties, 20 seals.
Okay.
beads, all that. And then-
Why not make those things? All raw, all working out underneath them. But they're not done, but we're holding.
Yeah, question of
Very would it have to go? At least not mine. I like that we-
with what is dug out right now, is there any means of that being used just with caution?
There's a couple where I genuinely don't know what we would use an alternative because again, especially in the T-pad areas, I took out as minimal as possible as far as things. So there's not room around it to throw. In front of it, it's safe, behind it, it's safe. And kind of that sort of thing. So it's kind of that catch-22 where, but it is the safer option as far as for my players to play on it. But obviously there's some that aren't necessarily done right. You can throw them behind it, on the side of it. But like Hope Live is my example where I have no idea where they would throw from.
So could we have these events, but not on the whole course? Maybe some of the holes are ready and just as a demonstration?
I can't call it grand opening at that point, and that's what it was.
Call it a grandish.
That's advertised as. And the big one too is that, where a lot of people make mistakes in installing disc golf courses is opening them prematurely. Because of safety, because of a whole multitude of things where someone comes and sees and they're like, oh, I can't play this, I'm not done, they are less likely to come back. Where, like, I won't even advertise it on, the local app that they're in, the local, the worldwide app that we use to search for courses. I'm not even putting it in as available to play until I deem it safe to play. Part of that is those concrete pads. That's part of that.
That's 28 to 230.
Yes, sir. And a big part of that also was I wanted it available for people to play on July 4th. Because of a ton of people coming through, and if they see a course is there, they're gonna try to play it regardless, probably, and I want to make sure it's safe.
How many T-pads are left to be poured?
Very exact amount, but I know 3.5 million concrete wasted by, which is, I think, 7 million pads, 8, is the other idea. I drove through today, actually, you can see all of the forest. And I know some on the forest were kind of already done, that's why it's hard for me to get the exact amount, but I'd say a third of them are done. And then a lot of this course was also designed in the idea that it was one big trail. So if I take one out, it's almost impossible to get to the next one without having somebody walk. Where some courses, yes, are designed with a 9-hole loop in mind. That just wasn't feasible with the safety areas and playgrounds and stuff.
How much time do you think is needed to get those poured? How much notice anyways?
Get them poured and ready for sure by that some.
You said that, or, sorry.
Yeah.
The person who was out there at least, he said that that was going to be like their last day of pouring. So could it be like done in a day theoretically?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
As long as, you know, weather permitting.
Okay.
Raining and all. Delivery and buggies for anything that they can't get trucks near. So like, push buggies, that kind of thing. I even told him, I was like, hey, if you can't feel like you can safely get stuff out there, please let us know, we'll figure out another means of doing it properly. He's like, no, we have buggies and wheelbarrows and that sort of thing. to get to wood areas and stuff. But I will say, the majority of the holes especially are accessible by either the access road or the road itself that runs to the park.
Because obviously the plugins, we would, reversing, pain.
Oh, sorry, in my brain, buggy and wheelbarrow. are kind of the same thing.
Because I know they also have motorized,
Right.
drop them.
And I'm pretty sure they're.
That will drive over almost anything,
I totally. I think, you can see the map. They're essentially all accessible right there. Or the main path.
Well, we were a little, we had a little discussion out of order there, but we do have, that's okay. We do have, a motion, and I think Levi's motion is to, let them proceed for this event and evaluate what's going on after that. Is that,
allowing them to pour?
that's the question.
My initial motion was without pouring. I would like to keep to that for the idea of us trying to get together even possibly this week and still having time to pour if that is our decision.
What about if our staff, ones that would transport, would we help get the concrete to the pad to make sure that the path that's used is.
I mean, I think that's fine. I think yeah, I think the issue was that pouring the concrete in general is damaging to the environment there, so.
Not necessarily getting it there, it just being there.
Yeah.
They've already scraped
Yeah.
the pad, they've already prepped the pad, they've already framed.
They've already prepped the pad. The wooding is around it already.
Yeah, so, I mean, yeah, you're not doing.
More
disruptive.
so if we were using this as like a launching off point, like to see how it's going, it's going to be really hard to take out that if we were to see that we wouldn't want it in the future. It would do a lot of damage taking out that pad in the future, I suppose. So, it's.
But it's sidewalk, it's not, obviously, it's not made for people to drive on, so it's not.
Okay, so. Want to clearly state your motion, Levi.
I would, see if I remember. I would make the motion for us.
There's a
to-
motion on being presented. Go ahead.
Yes, yeah, for us to go ahead and allow the Muncie Area Disc Golf Club to proceed with their event with construction pending for final review this week from the board. And for this event to be monitored by the board and park staff as possible.
On Sunday, correct?
Yes, sir.
Is there a second?
I would second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed?
Aye.
Motion passes with one opposition, and that will be noted in the record.
So we got some calendar coordinating to do this week. You need that?
Yep.
I can work on it. I've got some commitments this week, but I'll do what I can.
Old business, 4th of July celebrations coming up. Cade, we have a final meeting this week. What else do you have to add to?
I don't have a whole lot.
Yeah, there isn't a
We're
lot.
just rearranging the map a little bit where the vendors used to be. One of my guys on my team had a new idea for where they would line up, and we're going to bring that to the safety briefing and see if that lines up with everything. I will say that when it comes to bounce castles or whatever you want to call them, we are still pending on if they will be there just because of insurance reasons. So
Yeah, they, have they assigned, that, did they sign an agreement yet or for the insurance, or are they going to provide their insurance, or we don't know yet?
they said that they are looking at quotes for a day insurance right now. So I will keep the board updated. I will keep everybody updated on if we get insurance or not. So.
Okay. Special permits? Anything on that?
Sorry.
Special permits is under
So
new
if you look
business.
through your packet, there's a sheet that looks like this. So we had some issues with a previous vendor who did not want to give their certificate of insurance. So we are from now on going to do this packet, request a certificate of insurance, and we'll make sure that our ducks in a row. It just goes basically, it releases us from any doing from anything that may happen at the park, whether it's due to our parks I don't know. Sorry, I need to read through it again. Number 2 was specifically made by Joel, so that's mostly what the document is for. But it's really just to make sure that we're not getting pulled into anything to do with like injuries due to somebody else's vendors or things along that sort. I had people help me from DNR and also Muncie Parks to make this document. So
Here's that there's 3 different forms in that. Correct? You have an agreement, you have a permit, you got a.
so that it's honestly, they're all together. I mean, the first 2 pages are just to get the information of the day of the event, what it's going to do, the name of the organization. The 3rd page and a little bit of the 2nd page is for us. Like it's for us to keep on file. So it's more information about the business. So that's really it. It's just a form to make sure that they sign release, that they are the ones responsible for anything that would happen. So.
I see you have a schedule of your hours. Looks like you're going to be out in the park a little bit more. And this is just to keep track of what's going on. Or
Honestly,
are these your fishing days, Wednesday?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's the days I blow off work, in all honesty. So I've had a rough time trying to balance office hours and being out with my guys. I'm trying to get on a better balance of that. Kenny right there could probably tell you that's true. I don't really spend enough time with them outside. So
good. I
and
think
sometimes I feel like when I try to get out there and spend more time, I miss out on the stuff that I need to do in the office. So it's my attempt at streamlining that.
no, that's good.
Okay.
It's more important for you to be out there.
I see Duke and Jim are here and they haven't said anything yet. Jim?
Bring up the good news, Steve.
Yes.
Just a little quick update on the Sanders Shelter House. It is 95% done. There's a few things that we had to order that we've seen that we'd like to add to it. So we've ordered some more of the metal siding for it, but should be done by the time that the Sanders are wanting to have their grand opening or their reunion, I believe it is, or And so
Is there a date for that?
the 27th this month. And so what we're trying to do, well, I'll come right back to that in a second. So we're 95% done with it. I asked RMC if they would donate some telephone poles so we can set them around the perimeter of the shelter so it divides the road and the shelter house. That way, when kids come out there, they step outside there, cars can pull up beside it, they could be struck. This gives them a barrier. Also, it discourages people from pulling cars up close to the side of it and it being damaged. So RMCA has donated 2 brand new poles. And they also, as of this evening, Adam said that they would even come out and would bore the holes for me and get them prepped. So they'll be doing that. I think they're going to do it on their next Tuesday. There's I think an RMC day out here where they bring students out. And they have an event that they really want people to come out and see, but these kids come out and they go through training. They're actually going to bore those holes at this moment.
Is that why you didn't bring out the auger? Because you got confirmation that they would come in?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So,
We label on the side of the road.
no, they're going to be 4 foot in the ground. Yeah.
That event that he's talking about, by the way, that's the one that's going to replace that metal pole that was an issue, and it's going to replace another one that was it was rotting, and then another one. It's just going to be a new pole to get one of the lines off the tree. So
I wanted to let Helen know too here that we did move that dirt, and it did not encroach into the seep or none of it. So we got a little bit of hand grading out there, but it's all been moved back into place and graded in. Probably put some grass seed back there. And then the only thing is that they're going to need some picnic tables back there. And I think somebody was looking to see if they had some that could.
we do. Yes, we have some, and we can bring them out there. So.
And so right now we're looking at the 11 o'clock on 6/27 of having somewhat of a dedication or rededication. And so the Sanders family is going to be there, and their event is at 1 o'clock. So we'll have this 11. I doubt if it lasts 20 minutes, but there'll be some of the donators will probably be there, including Joe Peacock and a couple of the other donors. One of the donors recently passed away. And so the family still wants to participate in it. They may or may not be there. And we have 3 trees that are being donated by Brianna Chapman's mother, I believe it is. And they're all native to Indiana. And so at least one of them will be planted wherever you guys want it to be planted, but in maybe memory of the person who just recently passed away. And then the other 2 could be put one, maybe one for the Sanders, and another one could be for whatever purpose you would like it for, okay? But we have 3 trees that can be positioned or placed wherever you want them. Okay?
Real quick, that event on the 27th, is that public?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I don't know how many people will be there. I mean, it's not really, I think we're going to invite commissioners to come there. There'll be a banner. All the donors' names will be on it. All the park board we'd like to invite to be there as much as can participate. And then we started roughing in that road that comes off of, what's the road that Smith Building's on?
Yeah.
Top of the hill, that road there, we started roughing that in today. And using some of the millings over there to kind of patch it and try to work it up, but it's going to take some time. But to make it accessible, it won't be like a paved road right now, but it'll be accessible in case there's a fire or an event or something that's going on where maybe the Saddle Club's got something going on, but we can get traffic in and out in case of an emergency, okay?
That's the one to the west of Goodwin Lake.
Yes.
Where it's currently blocked off.
Yeah, it was cut in a few years back, I guess. And then today I got a call from Steve Steve Dillinger, Joe Wiley, Susan Hoon, and Debbie Walker. And they have assigned the $40,000 asked for to do Band-Aids and repairs on the 4-H building before the 4th of July. So it's been approved, money's allotted.
For the 4th of July or by?
Well, for the 4-H fair. Yeah. So there's a lot to be done. And we've picked a builder to come in and do this. So it would include spray foaming the inside of the ceiling, the roof in the arena. Putting a reflective coating on the outside of the arena's roof. So it'll have long-term effects for you guys. Replacing some commodes, a sink. There's a list of things that I'm probably forgetting. Putting a new ridge cap in that could move the hot air that's inside there, because they say it gets extremely hot in there at 4-H. So
Is this in the arena or is this in the cattle area?
this is in the arena. In the cattle area, we're really only trying to do some mitigation of water from flooding in there when it rains. So so me and some others are gonna work on trying to fix the roof at no cost, patch it, I would say. But most of these are Band-Aids. Some of them has long-term effect on it, such as the spray foam and the, until future decisions are made for the new 4-H, if there is one. So really, that's about it, unless you have any questions about the 4-H.
Is there a timeline when they intend to start? Yeah.
Yeah.
The dates again, I keep losing the dates of the 4-H.
It's right after the July 4th event, the 7th. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we rolled the dice on it and went ahead and ordered some supplies, but literally we're hoping to start it maybe as even as early as tomorrow. And I mean, that's how quickly we've got to get on this and get it done.
The dude volunteering.
He's done, yeah. Yeah.
You got a lot of energy, right?
Maybe that's what the new name of the arena will be, is Duke. Duke, you're up.
I'm waiting for you.
I will be brief. You've had a long evening, it looks like, so. Park Board, just to update. We have been meeting with Gonzalez Engineering, Tina Henderson on the Okra grant. It is progressing, full steam ahead, although slower than a lot of us would like on any type of grant. We're looking, all the timeframes are set to put it out for RFQs, for bids, RFPs, and to get a general contractor hopefully approved by the commissioners by August, mid-August. The actual grant completion will be April, May, and we're hopeful that that will also April, May of 2027, and that we will also be able to actually open and start having events then. Want to again thank Jim Ward on the Sanders Shelter completion. I mean, Jim has, as always, worked his tail off. I think he deserves a hand. He doesn't want a hand, but he deserves it. And everyone involved with that project. And I'm looking forward to meeting the Sanders family on the 27th. Lastly, we are continuing our moving forward fundraising campaign. There's a time frame over the next 14 months, basically, and this is to finish the outside from the parking lot to getting the tables, chairs, kitchen finished, those type of things, internal areas that are outside of the grant, and everyone will be hearing more on that in the future weeks and months. Any questions?
Any more movement on the water sewer?
Yes, that has been a big part of working with the engineers, and thank you, Terry, because the Ready 2.0 grant for the water sewer, that has probably been slowing down this project a little bit, the Okra Grant project. The engineer Keith with United is in contact and coordinating with the Gonzalez engineer Bernie. I think I'm getting the names right. Yes, and REMC on all that. And there's a fair amount of coordination there, but I do believe it's settled where the Ready 2.0 are able to get the sewer is the major slowdown. And I think that's been coordinated.
I haven't seen additional correspondence on next meetings or anything, so I wasn't sure.
Okay. Very good.
Thank you.
Anything else? Thank you very much.
May I ask you something? I have some oak trees. They're about this tall. If you don't want them at the park, I'm going to cut them down.
Like, you're gonna take them out and then
Mhm.
I'll take them.
Okay, I'll put them in a pot for you.
Yeah, I'd love that.
But my squirrels like to move the other oak tree stuff around.
Let's take some trees.
Okay.
Anything else for the good of the order?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, motion is made, seconded. We're done.